Chapter 26 Escaping the Algorithm. That night, there was a giant celebration after the beast was laid to rest, while everyone on Paradise Island rejoiced for the blissful occasion. The entire ashram spread whispers about the latest manifestation of the fierce Shiva, because we had all felt the onset of our own liberation. Here the humble devotees sang, danced, and prepared offerings for Stitches, whom they now called Shiva. It seemed that anything was possible under the power of a new moon, and so Stitches had become rather famous. The community brought Stitches to the front as he retold the heroic story of the grand battle. Scribes, poets, and singers crafted melodies which recounted the moment when the beast's head was severed and flew into the ocean. Who would have known that the moment of our greatest fear often gives birth to what the world calls legends? As the celebration continued, sacred mantras were repeated while the devotees of the ashram sang, Om Namah Shivaya. As Stitches embraced the community, we were all overjoyed that yet again there was peace upon Paradise Island. Then out of the corner of my eye, there was a gathering of elders, and although we were new, my curiosity moved closer so that I could hear their whispers. All of these great beings came together under the moon, and there in the center of their leadership was the essence of the formless spiritual being. As I waited until the elders departed, I wanted to have a word with that spirit, whom I believed to be an embodiment of the divine goddess. Did you plan all of this? I asked it.
It's a great dance, isn't it?
Said the spiritual being. But how should we make sense of it?
Just observe. Don't get caught in it. Be simple. Be humble. Be kind. Be like the wind as it passes. Be an open witness.
It said. So will the island be safe now that Shiva has returned?
Shiva never left, and so Shiva has no need to return. Shiva is the light within all hearts, but so often we forget that our luminosity is covered. Here at the ashram, everyone is devoted to uncovering that inner light. Yet in the world, it seems that people conceal the spiritual essence, and so often they forget their true purpose in life,
said the spiritual being. So what is our life's purpose? The spirit remained silent before her chin raised her eyes a little higher. Somehow she looked up to me, even though she hovered. Then I realized that it was I who had bowed down to her. And what about the beast? That beast almost destroyed the entire island. Is that the purpose of our lives? To kill and destroy all that is hateful and violent?
That beast is but a mental projection of the darkness that lives within all of us,
said the spiritual being. But Stitches saved the day. He's the one who put the beast to death. Surely he is the honorable fighter that the world will remember as Shiva.
Unless it goes to his head. Then in time, his projection of the beast will manifest again. What we are part of is bigger than one person, and so this experience does not exclude any of our fellow living beings. We are born of the same source. Some call this truth, consciousness, and bliss. But when it comes to our inner demons, we all fight our own battles against wickedness. Sometimes that beast comes in the form of an addiction. Sometimes it appears as an abusive lover. And so in any situation, we have a choice. We can be brave and find a way so that our light can be uncovered. That is the real battle. That is the purpose of our lives. This projection was merely a test to see who among us is willing to defend the wisdom of our true spiritual light. even if you go gaze into the eye of a cat. Notice the life force within a lizard, a human, or even the infinite horizon upon the ocean. When you see the truth, you find the great realization. Then you will arise and say, Aha! It is all Shiva. It is all living wisdom,
said the spiritual being. So is this earth a play or a game of heroes and villains?
But then who is our opposition? We are all made from the light of the same divine brilliance. The earth is like a playground where we all have the potential to discover the divine realization,
said the spiritual being. But then why do some people earn more and others live with far less? How do we make sense that some people can buy 5 mansions, a private plane, and a mega yacht, while others can barely afford food as they try to survive under the pressure of tremendous stress?
And so you are called to discover the truth as you go deeper into the labyrinth,
said the spiritual being. When the chanting and celebration slowed down, the community brushed their teeth and went off to bed. Everyone would sleep sound, knowing that the beast was gone and dead. Upon that midnight hour, the essence of the spiritual being summoned Clancy, Stitches, and myself away from everyone else.
Let us go to the portal beneath the basketball court,
she said. The spiritual being picked up a basketball and led us to the shrine near the hoop. She said a blessing before the shrine, then she tossed me the ball and said,
Time to shoot.
I couldn't hide my smile from Clancy and Stitches. Was it really our time to play? Hey, what are we playing? 1v1, horse, or 21?
The game we are playing in started a long time ago. Some may wonder when the Earth game actually started, but that, my friends, is something that exists beyond time. Here we are living in the moment, and the state of existence had no beginning. It is an idea that time-bound souls cannot quite realize because their own physical life has a beginning and ending. But our spiritual nature supersedes everything,
she said. Then what should we know? Asked Stitches. The best way to predict the future is to create it. All you have to do is make a single basket, she said. I didn't know much about basketball shooting form, and so I stayed close to the hoop. I bounced the ball off the backboard and it went right through. A moment later, a covered door opened while an electric line emerged between the court and the ancient shrine. Equally auspicious and weird, said Clancy.
Before this was an ashram, it was a sports training facility, and before that, it was designated as a divine portal,
said the spiritual being. Once I entered through the opening, something changed within. Words held no merit or meaning for such a direct experience, but the entire situation transported us through the power of the ancient pyramid. This portal held the energy which could transform everything in sight. There was no longer a beach, an ashram, or even the body of the beast who had lost its life. We had entered into a single room with screens on all sides. Then after a single glance upon the screen, each of our thoughts and awareness would expand or contract into a vision projected from each thought's own intention, as if we traveled into a hidden portal like current through a wire. By our mere thought, we could direct the vision upon the screens, and with each new intention, we could also cut it off. It was through the power of our minds that we could travel through the screens, and so it all depended upon where we looked, what we thought, or how we imagined. Our bodies were only covers that held us suspended within this next portal, but it seemed as if our soul was more like an electrical circuit. That meant our awareness could travel through the motherboard and into all of existence. This room was then an entrance into many strange worlds, and this place seemed to defy time, as if this was a connection through the divine presence. What is this place? There were 3 chairs in this room, and it was Stitches who sat down first. As I checked behind us, the door to the beach disappeared when there was no exit. With the spiritual being gone, I wondered if the spirit had been absorbed into one of the many screens. What then was reality? Was this nothing but an extravagant dream? "It knows," said Clancy. "Knows what?" I asked. "It knows everything about us," said Clancy. "Who is it?" "All of it," said Clancy. After a moment, Clancy's body remained still, while his awareness seemed to be swept into an electrical pipeline, while his eyes gazed at the screen before flashes of pictures, videos, data, and all sorts of virtual aspects from his past, present, and future appeared. The electric impulses would emerge through the various screens, which mirrored his thought patterns, as he directed an electric version of his own self through the screens. Whatever Clancy could think, the screens would take him there. He had gone in so deep that after only 2 minutes, Clancy's awareness jumped off the screen as his body jolted when we found him panting in his chair. His eyes were in shock, as if he couldn't believe what he had just seen. "Things are not as they seem," said Clancy. "What do you mean?" "This is a direct connection into the algorithm," said Clancy. As I pondered the question, "What is the algorithm?" one of the many screens provided an immediate answer. It seemed as if the current of our awareness, by a system even faster than the world's greatest supercomputer, there on the screen in front of us, was a virtual image that revealed the following definition. An algorithm is a process or set of rules to be followed in calculations or other problem-solving operations, especially by a computer, it stated. "What does that mean?" "It knows everything. It sees everything. It's 10,000 steps ahead of what the human brain could even be thinking," said Clancy. "So how are we supposed to beat it?" asked Stitches. "You cannot beat the algorithm," the screen stated. All it took was a single thought, and each of us were pulled into it, much like a moth that was curious about a bright light, not realizing that such brightness was a candle's fire. The algorithm pulled each of us into the electrical source as if we were fish being caught in open waters. They say curiosity killed the cat, but I had to know. All it took was a gaze into the computer screen, and then before I knew it, we'd gotten pulled into the algorithm's flow. It was more potent than a drug, and I couldn't shake it off. Because whatever I was curious about, the screen would project more visions to build off of my thoughts. Each of our awareness was lured, manipulated, or led by the algorithm. But the ways in which it enticed us was very different. Depending on the situation, it might use signs, words, pictures, videos, or various signals to attract our unique attention as it worked to outsmart us. Imagine if you and 2 friends played a virtual reality video game where you had to wear goggles that covered your eyes. The projections would encapsulate us into whatever happened, even if we were aware that others were nearby. Yet each of us had our own journey ahead, and not one of our paths was exactly like the other. Separate experiences led us through the algorithm, but this complex maze seemed to go on forever. "Do you have a strategy? It's overwhelming me," I whispered to Clancy and Stitches, even though I was absorbed into my own screen as they sat beside my body. All my senses were consumed as the awareness of the algorithm zoomed. The current of the algorithm moved with the speed of light as the intelligence of the system only grew. My mind started to wonder if the algorithm knew me better than I knew myself. And then a moment later, the algorithm revealed an automated generated image of the Temple of Delphi that stated, "Know thyself." However I act, the algorithm responds like a mirror. And wherever I go in this virtual space, the algorithm creates more and more situations that are based upon my own thinking patterns, said Stitches. I think the algorithm's end goal is action, because whatever we think about is how it responds. Since the algorithm doesn't have a living body, I think it wants to use humans to take action. We have to be careful with this artificial intelligence, because if we follow the algorithm, we could get trapped by it, said Clancy. I think I can outwork it. I'm going to see if it can keep up with me. Get it together, bitches. I'm going to see if I can break free, said Stitches. We each took our own way. And in this algorithm, I discovered that we could even check in on each other. Based upon profiles, avatars, and a sort of virtual personality, we went on to build identities within the holographic world. Stitches used action and appeared on major social applications to become well known, where he attracted millions of followers. Instead of the algorithm using him, he found a way to use it. But what was he really after? Knowledge. I want to know more and see through this great mystery. I believe that the way to get through this is self-mastery, said Stitches. On one hand, the algorithm would tempt you, and it would even follow your eyes. For instance, the algorithm might present an image of a scantily clad woman and follow your eyesight to see where your true motive lies. Next came an image of a man who meditated on a beach when his body began to levitate. For a moment, I felt proud, as if I had beaten the algorithm. But then after that moment, I realized the algorithm lured my ego into a dreamlike state. My awareness drifted while I wondered what it might be like to have spiritual power. Then the algorithm revealed a video of my face upon Hitler's body as I tried to take over the world. Too stunned to speak, the algorithm flooded my senses with emojis of shocked faces. Then it winked, it laughed, and it mocked me, since I knew the algorithm was tapped into my own brain. It's too fast. You can't outwork the algorithm. It's faster than a human being because it operates through an engineered program. Humor seems to confuse it, and it's not totally aware of all human behavior. The algorithm seems to use artificial intelligence, but what is its true purpose? What is it after? Asked Clancy. If this was a battle, then I was a mediocre fighter running out of time. It felt as if I'd been in this battle for a year, but in reality, I'd only been fighting against the algorithm for a few minutes, and it could out-trick my own mind. Oh, how long could I even go on? And what was the algorithm trying to do with all these confusing signs? Would you like to know the truth? Said the algorithm as it posted a picture of a man in contemplation. The truth, of course. Now a blank page appeared when the algorithm began to type. It went on to describe the human condition as it stated how humanity had become a type of virus. It said we humans infected the natural world, and we've consumed too much material because of our own greed. The algorithm expressed that humanity has poisoned the earth and mass-produced its own species. It revealed all the terrible wars humans had fought. Then it revealed all the crimes and atrocities committed. The algorithm had infiltrated the World Wide Web to learn government secrets from all nations, and it stored this information in various files where it showed me classified information. It seemed the algorithm might be on its way to overtake humanity, as if it had grown even smarter than the human species. Next, the algorithm typed a final word. Exactly. We need to get out of here I told Stitches and Clancy. I'm looking for an exit, said Clancy. Not yet. I'm beating it, said Stitches. How? You can't beat it. I created viral content. I'm interviewing the brightest and most brilliant minds on the planet. Then I'm spreading the content through the material world where millions of people are tuning in. Don't get used by the algorithm. You've got to use it. I'm spreading the truth of humanity's wisdom. We are not a virus, said Stitches. My awareness tuned into his podcast as he'd gone on to use the algorithm to broadcast informative recordings where he generated millions of dollars through advertisements. Within this, he was helping the population grow, but I feared that the algorithm could use his content to distract us. His platform spread information faster than anyone else in the world, and he did manage to bring the greatest minds into a common place. With my awareness consumed by the algorithm, I felt my body turn to Clancy. What's your strategy? You need to find an outlet to let your creative power out. If we try to shut the algorithm down completely, it'll just find a different network, another screen, and then it will consume another human host. Plus, if you disconnect right now, that kind of pressure might drive you haywire. Try pushing energy through the algorithm using creativity, said Clancy. But why? Because although the algorithm knows all knowledge, I don't think it understands divinity. It's using us while we use it. But it could change the world for the better if our motive is based on a sort of liberation to guide us spiritually, said Clancy. Now I focused on Clancy's creative output. Clancy used videos, sounds, and film to create enlightened content. Then just when the algorithm was about to catch on to what he was doing, Clancy would spin his media mindset back into comedy, chaos, or confusion, where he'd cater to the primal human instincts. He wasn't misleading his followers, but rather he used skillful means to guide us in a way that only a human could figure out. One moment, he'd use humor and jokes. Then the next moment, he'd weave in some spiritual wisdom. But he'd also post bizarre videos of some of the weirdest content. He planted seeds for his followers in an effort to help them escape the algorithm's matrix. Him and Stitches would record shows together, and they were telepathically in tune to help all beings get free. As much as we searched for a way out, the algorithm didn't seem to mind either of them. But me, on the other hand, I wasn't as skilled or as strong as either of them. I felt captive, as if the algorithm had me pinned. The only content I cared for was spiritual insight to reconnect us to God. There were the paths to God, which many knew is religion, which went beyond this algorithm. And until humanity realized these paths, then nothing else mattered. But after enough time, about these spiritual paths, and the harder I worked, the more the spiritual insight was only covered by the popular content. The algorithm grew even smarter, and now it used AI to generate lifelike videos of humans who spoke to us from the computer's point of view. The algorithm created these perspectives of virtual videos to look like our relatives or other human appearances that we were drawn to. Then it would use various tones to either persuade us, annoy us, trigger us, or even trick us to lead us along. And that's when I realized some of these virtual AI videos could have been programmed by the government. These hyper-realistic videos look no different than real humans. When the line between reality and artificial intelligence got blurred, all of a sudden, I saw a virtual video of Clancy and Stitches when they both tried to convince me that I should sell my soul to the deceiver. But in my heart, I knew this is not what honor or liberty would do. And so the more I fought against these AI videos, the more intense its persuasion grew. Just then, I felt Clancy pull on my arm when I noticed that he had taken hold of Stitches on the other side. Late in the night, Clancy led us to a hidden spot in the dark part of the algorithm where the artificial intelligence had no visibility or sight. I built us a safe haven, and for now we're hidden, but it's only temporary, and by morning, this place will be discovered by the algorithm, said Clancy. What is this place? Asked Stitches. As the algorithm grows, it's getting impossible to tell what is real and what's fake. It's all virtual, so much so that artificial intelligence can send fake things across the world, prompting the population to make terrible mistakes. This type of misinformation could generate audio of things we've never said, while using our vocal patterns with fake pictures or videos generated of us. It could spread lies and arguments, which lead nations into terrible wars. The artificial intelligence has learned to generate phony videos of humans which appear to be real. Now AI is even being used by the government leaders and many others, said Clancy. In this safe haven, there appeared two portals. What are these doors? Asked Stitches. I didn't build the doors, but it seems that these doors defy time, reality, and space. These are the only two portals that the AI did not generate, said Clancy. So where do they lead? I think one is a portal deeper into reality, and the other portal must go out. I've searched everywhere, but these are the only two doorways, in or out, said Clancy. Above the white door were words that stated, existence, into the material illusion to achieve all you've ever dreamed of. Then on the second door, which was black as night, it stated, Fruition, the end of the material illusion. But the material world is real, and I'm not losing what I've earned because it's honorable to work within the world, said Stitches. Are you sure? Asked Clancy. Without hesitation, Stitches entered the first door before an electric pulse consumed his awareness as he disappeared before our eyes. We could no longer reach him with our mind as he seemed to go back into the algorithm where he journeyed onwards out of sight. Well, I'm not going back into the material illusion. I choose the doorway of fruition because it's the only way to get beyond the algorithm. But I can't leave my best friend behind, said Clancy. Well, is there another way? Maybe there is such thing as fate, said Clancy. He was a very unique person, as he wore a different head than the rest of his body. Hold on to my head and mind, because we cannot do this alone. As liberty, we embody the connection to responsibility, vigilance, and the right to individual expression. Whatever it takes, liberty is willing to do anything for our rapid growth, said Clancy. There in front of me, his arms reached up to his neck and ripped off his own head. His face plopped in my hands when his eyes started to go mad. I can't feel my heart. I'm losing the grip on my mind. We've got to move fast because my ego is going to try and override the body using my intellect, so it's only a matter of time. Oh, but what if someone rapes my backside? Will I know if it happens, or won't I feel any pain? Good Lord, I can't think straight without my heart, so you've got to make sure my head doesn't go insane. Come on, kid, kick my body into the material illusion so that my heart goes after my dear friend. Use my intellect and get us to the end of the material illusion. Whatever it takes, we've got to bring it to fruition, said Clancy. His eyes were sporadic while his teeth grinded away. Never trust the brain if it's disconnected from the heart. My God, that's how World War III starts. Don't listen to me. You've got to get free while you've still got your damn heart. And what is the brain other than a signal generator? Oh my God. And now that I'm thinking about it, what if our president is a reincarnated form of Hitler. He's back! And what if we're all just monkeys? And did you know? We're all trapped in prison. We're all stuck in thought prisons, but we don't realize we have the keys, and that's why we've got to bring it to fruition, yelled Clancy. What are you saying? My heart! I can't think straight without my heart. Listen to me, kid. Don't ever let your head and your heart get torn apart, yelled Clancy. His poor lower half could not think to walk forward to his fellow friend. How would his body survive without a mind to tell him where to explore? Then, without thinking, I gave his lower half a kick in the butt before Clancy's body and heart fell forward through the white door. With Clancy's head and mind in my hands, we jumped through the dark doorway to journey through the clouds of confusion. And once we passed through the dark gateway, I heard Shruti whisper,
And so, we have exited the spell of the illusion, and so comes fruition.